Hey, great day. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'm Rich Williams from Momentum Consulting. At Momentum Consulting, we believe that education plus application makes all the difference in the world. Listen, I'm super excited about this next 30 minutes that we're going to share together as it relates to having a quick conversation about things that agents do that are sabotaging their success. Let me ask you a question. What if you could learn 10 things, 10 steps to avoid that could lead to success? Would you be interested in learning a little bit more about those 10 things? And hopefully the answer is yes. So let's get right to it. So I've been doing real estate sales, business development for 15 plus years. I originally got licensed in real estate in 2002. Had some early on success selling real estate. I was asked by my broker to help her offer some sales training for some of the younger agents, or newer agents, I should say. And that led me to becoming a Sweat Hogs trainer. Listen, if you don't know what Sweat Hogs is, let me test you. Let me just test you real quick. If I were to say sweat, you would say what? You should say hogs. Is a long story if you don't know that. But anyway, so I was a Sweat Hogs trainer, traveled the country from New York to North Carolina, providing sales training, business development. Here recently got into some business development, strategy development, etc. And my heart and my passion is helping realtors be successful in real estate. And so I want to go through my goal is to go through over the next 23 minutes or so, go through 10 things that I think are killing deals. Then let me start by saying this. Let me frame where we're going first as it relates to your success. Now, I'm aiming this information specifically to realtors that have less than 3 years experience or you've done less than 5 transactions in the past 12 months. If that's you, then you are the person that I want to have this conversation with. I want to share a video that I saw. Tom Ferry was training, and he was talking about success or things to avoid for new agents. And
to be successful in life,
I thought Tom would do a good job of sharing. Hey, Tom, take it over.
You have got to go make a ton of mistakes. Every good agent will sit you down and say, look, let me tell you about all the areas that I screwed up, the time that I forgot to follow up, the time that I forgot to put a CTA on a direct mail piece, the time that I did an ad and there was no phone number. I mean, it's just mistake after mistake after mistake, and then learning the lesson. That's how the best people get great at this business. You have to say to yourself, if you're new or joining a team, that my number one focus is to make as many mistakes as I can and learn as many lessons as I can. Because from that, you have wisdom. You become wise. You actually know what works and what doesn't. And you've got that sort of gap, if you will, between not knowing and knowing, and you've bridged it, and that's when you become successful. So I would encourage you to make as many mistakes as you can. I think of the old great line, we are like the 5 people we spend the most time with. Our income is in direct connection to the 5 people we spend the most time with. Well, what if you're watching this and you're a brand new agent and you're in a class with a bunch of brand new agents and you're looking around at what they're all doing? Well, guess what happens? We begin to model the behaviors and the mindset of the people we spend the most time with. So as a brand new agent or someone joining a team, you need to consciously decide, who is my model in the real estate industry and what's most important to me? As an example, maybe you want to model someone that is highly skilled and highly technical, and they've been selling real estate for 10 years, not too far from where you are as a brand new agent, or 5 years, and they're ridiculously successful, but not just successful in their business, in their relationships, with their money, the way they manage themselves, right? Everything they do is the whole package. The mistake that most people make is they have no model. So they just get stuck in the minutia of the agents around them that also aren't selling any houses, and like attracts like, my friends. You get the point. Who is your role model in this business? Who are you aspiring to be like? Who are you looking up to and saying, she's the one, he's the one, and then dissecting how they think, how they walk, how they talk, how they plan, how they market, everything that they do, and then you R&D, which is something you're going to see a lot on the Tom Ferry Show. We talk about it, R&D, right? Like if you work for a Fortune 500 company that a research and development group, well, in real estate, we call it rip off and duplicate. If someone else is doing something successful, we want to cut their face off, change the phone number, put our face on, hit print, and go, metaphorically. You're in a sales and marketing business. The number one reason why people fail is they don't bring in enough clients, right? They don't attract enough clients.
Don't bring enough clients. Hey, listen, he said, make as many mistakes as possible. And so speaking of mistakes, I want to go through some common mistakes that, I'm focusing today on new realtors, but in general, these mistakes apply to all agents. Mistake number one is not following up promptly. Friend, listen, you do whatever you do to attract a lead to get a referral, right? Whether you're spending marketing dollars, whether you are posting ads or you're working your sphere of influence. By the way, if you're not working your sphere of influence, I'm going to strongly urge you to start doing that right now. But not not following up promptly on the leads. Not following up promptly on the leads is one of the mistakes that newer agents make, or agents make in general. The second thing is they have a poor CRM, or customer relationship management, or database discipline. They have a poor database discipline. What does that mean? A poor database discipline simply means that there isn't a structure, a process, a method, a way that you're interacting with your database on a daily basis. Mistake number three that new agents make that are sabotaging, killing their success, is that they are chasing new leads instead of nurturing new ones. They're chasing new leads and they're not nurturing new ones. So what I encourage you to do is to set up a 24-hour follow-up system and then automate as many tasks as possible. Set up an automated follow-up and then automate as many tasks as possible. Mistake number four that agents make that's killing their business is they ignore the data. No tracking or review. They ignore data. So that's a strategy gap. The strategy gap is that I'm ignoring the data. I'm not looking at the things that's driving my success. I don't know what the things are that's driving my success. And so when we ignore the data, it's a business strategy thing, friend. And I don't want you to have a business strategy. I want you to be successful as it relates to what you do. The next mistake number five, the new agents make is that they are mispricing listings emotionally. They're doing what, Rich? They are mispricing listings emotionally. What does that mean? Let me unpack that for a minute. In other words, there is an emotional reason that's driving you to list the house at a high price. Now, part of the emotional reason could come from your seller. Maybe your seller is putting pressure on you to list it at a high price because the seller wants to maximize market exposure and the seller wants to maximize their results. And if you maximize market exposure and you maximize the results, meaning get a higher list priced sell price for the home, then you will in turn indirectly get a higher commission. Commission is the second thing. Service is the first thing. Commission is the second thing. Servicing is the first thing. So how you service, how you approach, what your structure is, but that emotional decision. What if I don't list it at a higher price? Maybe the seller would choose another realtor. Listen, friend, I've been doing this long enough, and hot dog, everything's normal. If the seller wants to choose another agent because the agent wants to price the house above what the market says, then let that agent have that listing. The last thing you want to do is spend your time with an unmotivated sellers. By the way, if you're interested in learning more about working with unmotivated sellers, I want you to hit that link button, hit that subscribe button, and make sure you can get access to my playlist that has sales training on how to structure a house, how to talk smart during a selling situation, and work with for sale by owners. The sixth thing that agents do that's killing or sabotaging their business is they have weak or an inconsistent online brand. Here's how you know if you're branding correctly. I want you to Google yourself. Now, don't do it now because we're in this training. I want you to Google your name. Like if you were to Google Rich Wall Street Williams, what's on the first page of that Google search? Hopefully, you'll find my information. Friend, if you Google your name and your franchise or your brokerage that you're a part of and your name doesn't show up, then that's an online branding issue. It's weak and it's inconsistent. Hey, listen, let me show you something. Do we have the book? I don't know if my team had the book available. Oh no, where is it? I got all these books back here, and I can't find the book that I wanted. This is like it was a book that I had up on. Recently came through. Well, the book I was looking for. I apologize for that spontaneous response, but I did a book. I wrote a book on the roadmap to success and how to use social media and content. If you want that book, just let me know and I'll make sure you get the link. You can buy it on our Gumroad website, or you can go over to Lulu Print and you can find it there. But it talks about branding. When we are inconsistent in branding, listen, if you post a couple of times and don't follow up, or you don't schedule a regular flow of posting, that's called being vain to me. I call that being vain. You're just being vain. You're not interested in building your brand. You're interested in showing your picture. To me, that's vain. Got to have a strategy. Got to have a consistent. Got to have a posting on your social media platform. Who's your target audience, and when are they watching? When are they online? When are they clicking and viewing and watching your material? Right. Those are things that you take into consideration. So let me quickly go through for those that are just joining. There's 10 mistakes that realtors are making that's sabotaging their success. Mistake number one, they don't follow up promptly. Mistake number two is they have a poor CRM database. Point number three, they're chasing new leads instead of nurturing the existing ones. Point number four, they're ignoring the market data and they're not tracking and reviewing the results. Mistake number five is they're mispricing listings, being emotional. And number six is they have a weak or inconsistent brand. So mistake number seven that agents are making that's sabotaging their success is that they have a fear of delegation. They want to do everything themselves. Friend, at some point you need help. Years ago, Tiger Woods, when he was at the height of his career, Tiger Woods was at the height of his career in golf. Guess what he did? To go higher, he hired a coach. He realized that he's gone as far as he could go, and he hired a coach. So hire a coach. Delegate. Get help when you need it. Mistake number 8 that newer agents make this sabotaging their business is they have short-term thinking and they're chasing commissions. OMG. If I had a dramatic button, I would hit the button right now and there would be firework in the background and lights would be flashing. Okay, so let me just slow this one down. Chasing commission. Your prospect, your customer, they can sniff out commission breath a mile away. Commission breath, I know that sounds offensive. What is commission breath? Commission breath to me is it's all about the money. I truly believe, friend, that if you're going to be successful, what you're doing, whether you're selling houses or selling paper clips, you have to connect with what's in a person's heart first, and then you can ask for what's in their hand second. But when you have commission breath, you're all about the commission. Now, listen, you should be operating a for-profit real estate business. And so I get it. I understand profit and loss. I understand the cost of doing business, the cost of sales. I understand those accounting terms. But friend, you can't lead with how much money you're going to make. You should lead with how much value am I going to bring to the table first. Because when you establish value, price goes away. I was watching a training webinar earlier today, just a video clip, and the guy was with a young lady who is a makeup artist, and he said, "What do you do?" She said, "I'm a makeup artist," and he said, "How much do you charge?" And she said, "I charge $800 because she's very good at what she does." I think it was something like maybe $800 an hour because she has very high level clientele. And he said, "Do people ask you sometimes to reduce your rate or your price?" And she said, "Yes." And he said, what's your typical response? She says, I'll say no. He said, why do you say no? She said, because what you're paying for is my skill set, my talent, my time. He said, that's great. He said, when you tell people no, you're closing deals. And he said, let me show you how you open deals. And so they reverse roles. He said, I'm you and you're me. She came out, how much it costs? And he said $800. And she said, well, will you do it for less? Because my budget is $420. As opposed to saying no, he skillfully had a conversation and went something like, hey, what's the cost to you? What would it mean to you if blank, blah, da, 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 right? So it was a reverse of the conversation. Now, I'm not suggesting that you negotiate your commission down. What I am suggesting is don't be so focused on commission that you're not providing the value and you're not building that value, because when you build value first, the price or the conversation about cost goes away or it's reduced. So don't think short term, deal to deal, deal to deal, deal to deal, make that money, get the bag, and then that's it. Think long term. Number nine, ninth reason that newer agents are doing to sabotage their success is that they avoid accountability. They don't have a review system. They don't have someone checking what they said they were going to do when they said they were going to do it. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to neglect investing in yourself. And the number 10, which leads me to number 10 reasons that new agents do to sabotage their success, and most importantly, how to avoid them. Number 10 is they neglect the value of personal growth. They don't see the value of growing personally. Your business will grow. Your business will grow at the pace and at the length of the development of your personal discipline. Your business will grow based upon your personal discipline. Reflect on, what habits that you have that's helping you, and what are the habits that you're doing that's holding you back. Have those real conversation. And so when you hire a coach, when you have your broker or you have a mentor in your office, new agent, if your office offers some type of mentorship program, please take advantage of it. Okay, so it's going to cost you. You're going to make an investment of 10% of that commission or 15% of that commission or 25% of your commission as a referral fee to the agent that's helping you. Listen, it's not a cost. It's an investment in your success. And commit to one improvement. Make one improvement in your business each quarter. If you commit to the idea of making one improvement per quarter, you will see long-term success. If you don't grow, your systems won't either. Right? So let's recap what we talked about. Right? We talked about you have to have the right mindset. You have to understand the awareness, identify what are some of the mistakes that you're repeating, and then how to avoid them, how to build systems, put a system in place that's going to prevent the mistakes from happening over and over again. And then the third thing is you have to build in some type of accountability. Track, review, and adjust. What should you do? Track, review, and adjust. So you just use this this 3-step simple process: track, review, and adjust. And I'm telling you right now, friend, you will see the success that you want. Listen, if you want my 10 mistakes audit checklist, then what I recommend that you do is join our private Facebook group. We have Fast Track Academy. And then at Fast Track Academy is where we post a lot of our complimentary content. We have ebooks. Over the past 10 months, we've put together probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 20 or 25 ebooks. Most of them are for free, and so you can download that if it's going to help you. Awareness means nothing without action. Start your next level today. I hope you found some value in this. I'm Rich Wall Street Williams from Rich Wall Street Williams from Momentum Consulting. At Momentum Consulting, we believe education plus application makes all the difference in the world. Have a successful day.